But there's a Frank Herbert quote. He wrote Dune. I'm just going to shorten it up here, but it's just fear is the mind killer. And my wife, Cindy, she's got kind of a clipping of that quote that we have up here in the apartment. And it's kind of the first thing I see every morning when I get up is that fear is the mind killer quote. But I think of it for a couple of reasons. One, which is in my own day-to-day life, to just try not to operate out of a place of fear, to try to come from a place of love. But I really believe that when we're operating in a place of fear, either in a classroom or in an interaction, we're not, our whole mind isn't functioning, right? If you're afraid, if you're worried you're going to be punished, or that you're wrong, or that, my God, someone's going to think something horrible of you, or you're going to embarrass yourself, that you're not operating on all levels. You're probably not taking things in. So I think if education can be more about that, about loving a person, about caring a person, and leading, leading more with the heart. I mean, the head will follow, but lead with the heart. People will be okay. I think a lot of people just can't. They're scared, rightfully so, with an education because of the consequences of not being successful. We know how dire they are. Right? If you're not successful, we know what that looks like statistically speaking, for folks. But it seems to me like a fairly simple fix, but it means at its core that the system has to not be about meritocracy, like you were alluding to, and washing people out intentionally, but embracing people and saying, you belong here. I love you. I want you to get an education and be able to support yourself and support your family and pass that love on to the next generation. Not because I'm trying to prove to myself and my neighbors that I've got merit. Yes, I do. But because we live in a society and we're here to support each other. And what's better for a democracy than me and my neighbor both being super educated so we can make the right decisions on election day, or we can steer our country in the right direction. Like maybe just leading with love is the way to go with education and not making it what it's been for such a long time, which is kind of like the meritocracy Olympics. Right? I know that, the IB parents and IB high school kids that I went to high school with would probably, hear me saying this and be like, oh, come on, man, you went through it. You had a 4 point whatever GPA in high school. You got your diploma, like you got your accolades. Let's just have everyone go through the same thing. But we don't need to do that. We don't need to have everyone go through the same nonsense that we went through just to prove that they belong. I think we should, those of us who've made it through, we should tear that structure down and let something else evolve, something better, that's more inclusive. And instead of exclusive, education should not be an exclusive system. And I'll just stop right there. Education should be inclusive, and it should be about loving students. And I think it'd be better if we just fundamentally led with those concepts. Tear everything else down. Maybe have people agree to a Hippocratic oath for educators to first do no harm, and build from there. I think that would be lovely.